not yet, but it will be. Right? Parang ganon. And then, kinain ko yung sinabi ko. So, I need to pause. Yeah, right now, I need to apologize kasi kinain ko yung sinabi ko. Just 5 years, it's all QR codes, cashless, especially now. Welcome to OFWpreneurs Podcast. This is your host, JP Adena, and the guest for today is Mr. Albert Christian Go. So this will be entitled Albert Christian Go with big ideas. Welcome, Albert.
Hello. Thank you for having me in your podcast.
Yes. Super thankful ako kasi you said yes, first of all. And alam ko busy ka and I appreciate your time na ngayon. So, do you remember the first time we met, Albert?
I think that was about 2020 na. So, that was probably 2015.
Yeah.
Or 26. I think 2015. That was long ago. Bago pa lang yung company namin, no? Beam and Go, and we wanted to go to Hong Kong to parang palakihin yung business namin and to get to know the people there. And you were, I think, introduced to us by Floy Waikopo at that time.
Yes.
He was also very active in Hong Kong and spreading yung mga financial literacy. And that's, I think, that's what I can remember.
Yeah. What I remember is we had, I think, lunch or breakfast. I think breakfast. Breakfast in Central, right? I remember that. And then the second time we met, I think, is nung Finlit Summit. I approached you. You're one of the speakers of the Finlit Summit. And I approached you on stage. And I said, say hi, say hello. Yeah. That's for me. So, I think I need to apologize, Albert. You know what? The first thing I remember on that meeting is parang meron tayong hindi in my understanding na meron yata akong thinking or maybe I'm naive na sinasabi ko hindi naman gumagamit ang mga tao sa Pilipinas ng smartphone, hindi pa smartphone. And then you guys are saying na not yet but it will be, right? Parang ganon. And then kinain ko yung sinabi ko. So I need to pause. Yeah, right now I need to apologize kasi kinain ko yung sinabi ko. Just 5 years, it's all QR codes, cashless, especially now.
After this COVID-19, parang nag-accelerate yung yung adoption of smartphones and mobile wallets. And I think Filipinos in general, parang sometimes parang minamaliit natin yung capacity to adjust to the norm or to the advancement of technology. And I myself got surprised na totoo nga na if you see in Hong Kong, I think that was several years ago, yung lines dun sa remittance centers, everybody would go to what's that?
Worldwide.
Worldwide. And then suddenly this new player came in. I think that's TNG. If you know them. Then suddenly, ang dami nilang users. People started to use the mobile wallet. And then I myself got shocked because I guess matalino talaga mga Pinoy. Di ba?
Kung mapapadali yung buhay, why not, right? Ang hirap pa naman na napupunta ka sa... have you tried that? Going to Hong Kong worldwide and then makipagsiksikan shoulder to shoulder, face cheeks to cheeks?
Yes, di ba? Grabe, Saturday, Sunday, grabe, hindi ka move dun sa World Plaza. Pero I could see na as the years went by, medyo bumabawas yung crowds doon. Not as much as 2015. Kasi nga, I think, nagiging...
Marami na nga mobile wallets. You know, the thing about TNG, naging advocate ako niyan. Naging advocate, parang, of course, hindi naman ako nag-work sa company, pero parang sinabi ko sa mga tao, look at this, tingnan mo, it's a very user-friendly interface, at tapos ang ganda niya, tapos at that time, free pa. And then naging 19 and then now it's 23. But I still use it until now. So parang and I remember nung nakita ko yung Beam and Go nag-tie up na sa TNG. Sabi ko, wow. That's a good move. Parang that's a very smart move. And then every bank in Hong Kong followed suit. Nagkaroon na siya ng sarili nila, every bank. Nagkaroon ng mga even the remittances, so yung Alipay, WeChat, they pumasok sila doon. And then even iRemit now has a platform na rin. Na gano'n. 'Di ba? So parang ang nangyari is una-una, kinakain ko talaga sinasabi ko hanggang ngayon. I can't get over it. But the thing is, it's a good thing for all of us. 'Di ba? Na makakatulong sa ating mga kababayan. But the thing is, yung mga pangyayaring yon about technology, it goes to show na technology really helps us kesa sa yung mga, 'di ba, ang thinking ng mga tao, Facebook, social media, ganyan, it demonizes everything. But the thing is, technology also, there's a good side of it, right? And I know you can attest to that, Albert. So
I'm very sure about that, and I can attest to that because, I mean, 'di ba, ang hirap dati if everything is done manually, if everything is done na you have to queue in long lines, that the world will always be inefficient. And now, I know that now we've become spoiled because of technology. So I think there's some risks kung nag-break down yung internet and what. So some people don't know what to do anymore. Hindi sila sanay dun. But those who are siguro in our generation, like you and me, we're young and old enough to be in both sides of yung manual, yung olden times.
Analog.
Diba?
Analog to pictures, to colors, and then now touch screens, right? We had it all, kumbaga, we experienced it all. So that's good, right? So what's your experience about technology, Albert? Why is it that your company is a technology? Paano ka na-expose doon? Are you a techie guy? Are you alam mo yun, computer science, computer programming? How did you become a part of a technology company?
I was drawn to the mission of Beam and Go when I was approached 2014 pa noon at that time. And John is the technical guy of our team.
Yeah.
Ako, my background is really in marketing, business development. But in practice, I've been working in Singapore in the non-profit sector helping mga charities. Tapos,
really?
Prior to that, I was working in another big multinational company, and I was doing CSR, corporate social responsibility. So yun yung background ko. And then when I saw that, this is for OFWs, you want to tap the supermarkets and then help out these families so that they can use yung mga products of Beam and Go for the right purpose as opposed to sending cash. Yeah. Then actually the technology side, at the beginning, I wasn't also too sure if it was going to succeed, diba? Until I was doing it myself. Then I saw customers, yung mga initial customers namin na paulit-ulit na bumibili ng products of Beam and Go. But as a person, I think I'm more trained in marketing and business development.
Let's get to know Albert. Who is Albert? So when you talk about Albert in the third person, Albert is who?
That's interesting. It's, like I'd love to believe that I know myself well, but I think those who seldom see me, they probably have a different impression of me.
Yeah.
As of course, my parents would know lahat ng baho ko, alam ng
of course.
Ng girlfriend ko, alam niya lahat. But I think I strike people as being very passionate and parang empathetic. I can understand their feelings. I can communicate well, and I'm a person that is, I think yung passion ko is what drives me in doing a lot of things that I'm doing now. So that's something that people would know. Another thing that I can say about myself is I think I'm quite energetic.
Wow.
And also, I mean, as a leader, parang people know that I smile a lot.
Actually, you actually do.
But of course, those who report to me know that medyo mataas din yung standards ko. So sometimes, I mean, as an entrepreneur, sometimes yun din eh. You set the culture of the company. And I'm the person, usually I do that. I call at least the managers in the team that I really trust. And sometimes I would call them even late at night. So yun lang nga. So that's a parang drawback. Like people who really appreciate me are also workaholics. Kung
pag hindi maintindihan, pag hindi workaholic, you won't match. Parang ganun.
Hindi magma-match eh. So I mean, I have to be candid because you asked me that question about...
It's a candid question. Yeah. So wait, you told me you were in non-profit before, right? Non-profit. So is it like a part of your passion to be on a non-profit side or on a socially responsible or social enterprise side? Alam mo yun? Baga, plano mo ba yun nung bata ka pa? When you studied marketing, right? In college? So is that your vision in life nung nag-umpisa ka? Or baga, set ka na, okay, the next job I'll go to will be on a non-profit or will be helping more people improve their lives?
Okay. So I think that developed when I was studying in the university. At that point, I became like a student council vice president. And I was, and part of that, I remember that was long ago, so 20. But at that time, I became like a very, parang naging student leader ako in my university. And I was already helping a lot of like charitable institutions. So our university would partner with these mga high school or mga depressed communities. We would run mga surveys, help out yung mga families on why like their children are struggling. And then I think at that point, what struck me the most is when I went to this depressed community in Pasig, then I saw that the children were sobrang payat eh, mga
malnourished,
malnourished. And then the reason why is because the dad lunch pa lang lasing na sila. So they don't provide what the children really need, which is, I mean, both the education and also yung proper nutrition. That's why bagsak rin yung students sa school. And that started it. So
yun yung spark mo to not really a non-profit but to help more people.
Correct. And then my first job officially was with this multinational corporation called GE. And I was doing corporate social responsibility.
So you're the department na social responsibility.
Yes.
So not on the banking side or on the whatever part side.
Not yet. And I was helping, and I was doing a lot of these programs helping mga women entrepreneurship. Minsan kung ano mga programs ng organization, I was really doing what I could have done. And since at that time parang yung CSR, I mean, although it's a big buzzword like for most corporations, but yung mga projects, I was actually given a free hand to run programs that I can suggest to the CEO. So it gave me a lot of like freedom and helped me parang cultivate yung me being resourceful in running programs.
Yeah. For me, it's like parang kailan lang na concept yung social responsibility side of a company, di ba? Usually, you will see that on big companies na may social responsibility department. And when I say it's new, most probably the department run by you is actually yung ideas hindi mo nakita sa iba or kumbaga you don't have a pattern. So parang ikaw yung pioneer sa company mo na gumawa nun, tama ba? Or the processes are passed to you by a previous social CSR VP or whatever.
I have to admit there were like people who occupied that position before me, but the projects that I was able to institute, some of them were also quite original in how we practice it, because of course I think I mean, that's also one of the reasons why they hired me. It's because they wanted to get a young person to think creatively.
Yeah.
So I think to give an example, there was one time parang like the company had like so much yung mga refrigerators that in their centers. Tapos parang and they it was bought by like the GE money at that time. And all their branches had like mga totoong refrigerator na dun sa branch for a campaign. So parang it's like a mortgage campaign, and then if you win, then you get the refrigerator. Parang
you win with refrigerator, yeah.
Parang ganun. But the problem is they really bought the refrigerators, and there were like at least 30 branches. So may 30 na refs na sayang kasi tapos na yung campaign and nandun pa yung ref. Diba? What are you gonna do about it? Then I suggested to them, you know what? Why don't we just run programs with charities around the Philippines? And then that's when we actually gave it to mga Kapuso Foundation, ABS-CBN, Bantay Bata.
And who wouldn't need the one, right? Who wouldn't need a ref?
Correct. And then I also gave it to this organization helping children with cancer, Keith Foundation. And ang maganda doon is, because of this, the company was able to get parang exposure through TV coverage and what, because they parang lumabas pa yung
and you're in marketing anyway, so it's a plus side on it's a win, it's a check on your side, right?
I was actually quite happy at that point because parang it was like first I felt parang wow, proud na proud ako with my effort, may TV coverage, interview ako. Sayang hindi ko lang na-record yung interview. Like I look sobrang payat. Kung payat ako na, mas payat pa ako dati. And then but it was good because I mean I got the pat on my back from my boss and like people inside the company.
My wife is here because it's my time for my snack.
Wow, salad.
It's a mango. I don't know, mango salad. Greens and mango. Yeah, there you go. Conversa. I'll eat that later when we finished. So, Albert, kaya ako natanong siya kasi yung CSR, I think everybody needs that. Right? Either yung company mo is actually a CSR, right? A social responsible company, like a social enterprise, or meron kang big department or a bulk of your department should be handling that side of that the company. Kasi it's about relationships, right? I think of a company as the person, right? Hindi naman ang Coke is Coke eh. Hindi naman ang GE is GE, right? That is run by a person. Right? And if you know that person, malamang yun yung values na napasa sa company, right? So I think of it as a person. I think of a company as a person na kailangan siyang, of course it's a brand, but you should also brand yourself, right? So that's why I'm asking Mr. Albert Christian Go, maybe are you planning to brand yourself, right? Alam mo yung gano'n, yung because for me I'm branding myself. JP Edena, I have a website, jpedena.com. I do everything. Not everything. I do many things, right? But hindi ko siya next thing ito gusto ko. Next thing ito gusto ko. But instead of doing so many things and then putting up so many things and then I collect it and then put it into my name, right? Like a brand. So your marketing is branding, right? Uh-huh. It's branding. So for me, my name I'm branding it. So what I'm saying is Beam and Go is very associated to Albert. Because I was confused before, honestly, because I thought Beam and Go is because of Albert Christian Go. Right?
A lot of people
I'm pretty sure I'm not hindi ako solo sa thinking na yan.
Merong there are people that have that impression of like Beam and Go in the company because they also see me a lot. Like I do the pitches.
Yes, you're the face. I always see you as the Beam and Go guy. And you're Albert Christian Go, right?
Yeah. Pero iba siya because Yung Beam and Go actually, the name, it came about nung time 2014 pa, si John and his other founder, part of Beam and Go. At that time, naisip lang nila, it makes sense to why not we call this like Beam and Go, like beam your codes and off you go. And it was a good name because now looking back, like a lot of the e-commerce companies, if they brand, when they come up with the name of the company, it's very transactional in nature. So that means pwedeng may pangalan na benta or may gift, regalo, or whatever of that nature. So you don't really build a relationship with your customers by that kind of name, right? With a name like Beam and Go, what is this? Like, there's no sense. Then we leave that mystery out for people to like think of it. So that can be like a good conversation starter, because people ask me, why is your company called Beam and Go? So meron ka na kaagad na talking points. In yung branding also is it also so happens it's like a coincidence. My name is Albert Go. So people would ask, you're Beam and Go. Where's your other partner?
Where is Beam?
Or whatever. Ganyan. So that's funny, and I used to get that a lot before. So there. That I think the distinguishing factor is, like, now people would think of like, Beam and Go is like, I mean, they have different impressions of us, but they all in all, we make it very clear, like our positioning statement is we take care of your family's needs. So that's why we're not just like an e-commerce company. We're really onboard products that help the families.
The idea is quite simple. It's quite simple. And when simple doesn't mean not good.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's so simple, bakit hindi pa naiisip ng iba? Alam mo yun? Yun yung una kong naisip. Ba't hindi naisip yan ng iba? So, the brainchild of this, malamang, is si John ang nakaisip ng idea. Am I right? Or is it something that you talked about?
John, naisip ng 2014, yes.
But the thing is, ang una mong naisip, oo nga, no? Di ba, bakit ganon? This is OFWs with big ideas anyway. So, this is a great idea na sinimplify, and then, okay na. Yun na, napakasimple. All I have to do is go to the computer, order, and then give the gift certificates in the Philippines. So, in that way, cash will not be given na pwede pang magastos ng mga hindi negative naman yung way na magastos nila, but at least it's controlled by the OFW.
Yes.
Kasi instead of money being sent to Philippines, and then yung tao sa Pilipinas ang magbabudget niya, merong control yung OFW na ibinudget na niya, pinadala na lang niya. Diba? Since yun naman yung bibilhin nyo,
you can be the spokesperson of Beam and Go.
Kasi it's really quite simple that everybody will understand. Kasi sa totoo lang, the idea is hindi siya bago, ginagawa na siya ng OFW. Hindi lang niya alam kung paano niya gagawin na hati-hati na. Ate, ito yung para sa'yo. Kuya, ito yung para sa'yo. Daddy, ito yung para sa'yo. Di ba? So, in this way, mapreprevent mo pa yung mga vices, right? Kasi hindi mo it cannot be bought for
alcohol,
vices, alcohol and Yossi, di ba? So, alam mo yun, parang the idea is so good na ako ang thinking ko nung umpisa pa lang, hindi ko naisip yun. Alam mo yun? But kaya actually bukang bibig ko siya, you might not know, but bukang bibig ko siya every time nagtatanong yung mga tao sa akin tungkol sa budgeting, kasi nga, di ba, I'm on a financial literacy side of things sa Hong Kong. So when they ask, I say, go ahead, check out Beam and Go, and you will know na mababudget mo sa talaga yung pera mo. Sasabihin kasi nila, ang hirap naman kasi pag pinadala mo, hindi naman mga gastos. Wait, there's a way for you to do that effectively and efficiently. Yung pagka pagkakahati-hati. And then the tuition fee, hindi mo yung kailangan padala. Diretso na siya doon. Tama? Meron ganun, di ba?
Yes.
Straight to school.
Correct.
Tama? That's a great idea. Balik tayo sa name, sa Beam and Go name, kasi about the branding, I was arriving to a point na the brand name is actually, the name is nothing, right? Starbucks, where did Starbucks come from? What is Starbucks, right? Häagen-Dazs, what is Häagen-Dazs, right? But the thing is, when you ask what is the brand name, is already a branding and marketing strategy in itself.
Yes.
Diba? So that's what you mean earlier about the Beam and Go. But it's just appropriate lang na ikaw yung nag-market niya, and then your last name is Go. Now, going to that Go last name. Go is a Filipino-Chinese surname. And usually, businessman, ipapasa yung business sa anak. But the thing is, you have, right? Meron tayong thinking na gano'n. Ako, yun yung, at least for myself, with a population of 1, JP Adena, that's my thinking na pagka with a last name of Go, na ipasa na yung business ng magulang sa anak, and then your responsibility is to pass it on to your children, di ba? But on your side, you went NGO, you went non-profit, and then if I may ask, is there a business of your father that was supposed to pass to you na hindi mo tinanggap?
Wala. Actually, I was also raised quite differently from like my siblings, kasi before we used to live in Canada for a few years before we moved like back to the Philippines, and I think normally yung mga Chinese gusto yung anak ini-enroll sa mga Chinese schools, di ba?
Yeah.
Yung nangyari sa akin, tapos na yung enrollment dun sa Xavier School dito sa Mandaluyong, na my mom did not parang miss the deadline. So time na yon, parang sige, dito na lang ikaw sa Lasal Green Hills kasi malapit, on the way to Xavier. Bago ihatid din kuya mo, ikaw
dadaan ka muna.
Ikaw muna. So marami rin, mas naiging exposed ako sa like yung Filipino culture. Kasi minsan nga yung class ko, ako lang yung Chinese . Sa batch namin siguro ilan lang kaming Chinese. Kasi normally yung Chinese, they would enroll their children in a Filipino.
Yeah, it would enroll to a Chinese school to learn the Chinese language, right?
Correct. So I think that played a factor. I'm not crediting, ang galing yung mga Lasal Green Hills, ganyan. But I think that played a factor because I also had to become more resilient, and yung parang hindi ako dapat maging mayabang sa school. Kasi kung Chinese ako, baka i-bully ako ng ibang tao kasi may ganyan dati. I'm looking back to like the past na I grew up to become more parang friendly ako sa lahat.
I can see that, yeah. I can feel that actually.
Time, hindi rin ako yung taong like, kasi I would say that if I studied in a like different school, baka iba yung personality ko rin . Diba? So dito parang I learned to be a lot more humble and more understanding of like the people around me.
That's right. Yeah. Exposure, right? Exposure ang naging daan mo to what you are right now. Na-expose ka sa iba-ibang klaseng tao, right? I grew up in my elementary is public school, and then went to a science school, and went to a private school, and then to Santo Tomas. So yeah, I think that's a superpower, Albert. It's a superpower. Yung kaya mong makihalubilo sa iba-ibang klase ng tao. We've changed so many houses na kaya kong matulog kahit saan. Hindi uso sa akin yung namamahay. Right? But nakikilala din ng maraming tao. So I know how to handle myself on different types of people. So and I feel that it's a superpower, and you have it. Baga friendly. Alam mo 'yon, yung maamo 'yon. I think that's the word. Maamo yung mukha mo na I would go to you. Hindi ako maghuhunos dealing lumapit at mag-ask something. That's why I asked you that's why I invited you to this podcast. And I know you'll share so many things good things sa ating mga kababayan ng OFW. So, this is OFWpreneur, right?
Yeah.
You're an OFW. Do you consider yourself as an OFW?
Yeah, I was for 4 years in Singapore. And then I came back. But even though Beam and Go, kahit na base ako dito for several years na, I actually still feel like I'm an OFW because every month, like last year, almost every month I was flying to Singapore, US, Hong Kong, Taiwan, everywhere. Parang sabi nga nung like my girlfriend was telling me, parang there's no difference naman na umuwi ka. parang it's a lot worse Hindi ma-predict kung kailan kami magkikita.
Parang kang pilot din, no? Or flight attendant, no? Merong lalapag, matutulog, aalis, yung gano'n, no? Yeah. But the thing is, I want to ask that kasi the message of this podcast or the what I want everyone to know is that starting a business is the fastest way to come home for good nang hindi ka nagmamadali.
Yes.
Right? Because business will take some time. Right? It will take some time. 5 years, 10 years. But for me, it's the fastest way to come home for good. Again, the note, in quotation, nang hindi ka nagmamadali. Kasi feeling ng mga tao, this is a quick rich scheme. Diba? So it's not, because I know magpapakahirap ka. So would you say na yung business mo or this business is the reason you came home?
Yes. So
yes. First of all, if you've said no, it's like fail. But you're good.
Yes. Alam mo na homesick na rin ako after 4 years in Singapore. And I was also thinking about paano na yung like family. I'm not spending so much time with my friends here. I made a lot of good friends in Singapore, pero parang I hit the standstill at that point. Like career-wise, I don't think I was really growing anymore. I was doing pretty much the same thing year after year. Fundraising, running all these communication, PR or what campaigns for this nonprofit org there. Pero parang there's an inner desire for me to like challenge myself. And then the opportunity presented itself. Beam and Go, parang it was like an idea lang at that time. And then John said, why not come home, run the team here in the Philippines. We need to beef up and strengthen the team and just go all in. And then actually I was one of the initial investors of Beam and Go. And then invest ako, tapos sabi, ngayon na-realize ko if I invested and I didn't come in, siguro sayang lahat ng pera ko
Iba yung magiging trajectory ng company, right?
Iba kasi parang syempre the level of influence that you would put, not just in terms of like leadership and everything that you exert, your energy, everything that your ideas and implementation of things, parang even hiring strategy, that's part of it, diba, as a leader. Yes. So I looking back, that was really the reason. And then I saw like, oh, this is great. Like we can start a tech company that can really help OFWs. So
yes, and it does. Again, it does. And then came the advent of the wallet, and I'm pretty sure, right? So your sales went up because of that. But is there a particular time from 2015 to 2020, like it shot up?
Every year it's been moving up, but I think last year, even now, in coronavirus, last year it also went up. I think more than
like a very significant whoa.
Like a hockey stick growth. I'd say I don't know what qualifies as hockey stick, but last year definitely there were months our sales were up like 200-300%, and then team namin. This year our marketing costs, we had to dial down on our marketing costs because of COVID-19 to preserve our company and just to yung forecast lang of that economic downtrend. And despite that, I think 90% lower ang marketing costs, but our sales have been going up or have been steady the past months. So, of course, there are some challenges. I mean, we can discuss that part. Like the introduction.
What will be the challenges? Because if I'm going to go to a business right now, and most probably it will be more related to tech, I would learn from your mistakes.
So,
if there's a mistake, yeah.
So I think the first years you really have to roll your sleeves and go and do things yourself. Like for example, John and I, we've been in all the events. Ako yung nagsasalita sa stage pag sa event. Ako yung that's why yung impression mo, it's like, okay, I'm like the spokesperson. I'm like the face there of Beam and Go. And yes, I have to, because you have to build trust with the community. That's why in all these events in Singapore, Hong Kong, Japan, we're pretty much in all these, we're present in all these like events. Now we don't have to like participate as much. I mean, also because of COVID-19, because even us like doing small ads online, or we have resellers selling our products in Japan, Hong Kong, everywhere, hindi na namin kailangan to like
go there physically.
Yung be physically there all the time. But and we did that. I think one challenge is you have to keep up with the technology. So we were selling digital gift certificates, but we were selling it in SMS, diba? So SMS is okay. If you send it through an SMS of a person, let's say sinend ko sa'yo JP SMS, lahat ng tao sa Philippines may cellphone, kahit feature phone, ma-receive nila yung SMS, they can claim the GCs. But at this time, of course, there's a move towards like better internet connectivity, mobile wallet, etc. So we as a company have to be prepared for that, so that in the new cashless society we can be a player. So on our end,
so you adjusted from SMS to what?
So right now we're building that part, which is in QR code scanning. So you send na lang sa QR codes. Pwede rin ma-send sa pwede na rin picturean na lang ng mga
mag-anak. Yes. Yeah, that's what GCash and PayMaya does now.
Yeah, correct. So we're also, pero I feel like sometimes we're kind of like catching up them, and they have all the resources to build it faster, right? So even their marketing, so they're probably, I mean, some of them have spent they burned a lot of money in the beginning because they wanted to create the demand. The brand, the demand. So for us, like, we probably waited for them to spend a lot to build the awareness in the market. So now, and if you do it yourself, then may adoption na, and you don't have to spend as much.
Yes. Okay, I have a story to tell you about that also. So we started the food company Go Bang in Hong Kong, right? So the reason why I naging spokesperson ako ng TNG at that time, because I want them to pay me through TNG. So alam mo yun, yung payment system is to pay to me. I even asked TNG for the API. I think you know what I'm saying, right? So sa mga manonood, maybe just research on that. Medyo technical na yon. Yung API ng TNG, I'd like it to be, I'm asking TNG of the API so that I can ilagay ko siya sa website ko, so that it's very easy interface sa payment. Hindi yung i-check mo every time yung phone mo if they paid already, di ba? So, but then at that time, since they're also starting, wala pa sila noon. Hindi pa sila dumidikit sa mga merchants. So ba kailangan mo i-submit pa yung merchants through the app. But the thing is, meron akong may motive ako na kaya ako kayo na-expose sa wallet because I want you to pay me through that wallet, right? But and then every bank copied it, right? I can say they copied it. So walang they all copied that system, and then all banks meron na. And then our company benefited through it because familiar na sila. Alam na nila yung pareho lang naman yung interface since ginaya nga lang yung technologies. So parang pare-pares lang yung way of handling it. Ang nangyari, when they ask for, kasi wala kasi akong TNG, I have this bank. Yeah, they also have the same thing. And I have it. This is the QR code. But my bank is this bank, is China Bank. Or it's
integrate yung ibang options.
Parang yes, I'm sorry.
You were able to integrate yung other payment options in Hong Kong for customers. Ano yung iba mong
for example, PayMe, and personal pa yun. Pero nag-open sila ng business. Baga, meron silang part na naka-ano pa lang, hindi pa siya nagsa-start. Yung beta, dahil nasa personal sa akin yung PayMe, meron silang beta for business. And then I got the beta for business.
Okay.
So, pinapakita niya yung mga beta something na information na hindi pa siya lumalabas. And then, parang kasama ka sa mga nagte-test. Yung ganon. So, ang nangyari, all the payment options, I have it na. So, wala ka ng lusot. Alam mo yun, to be frank, business-wise, businessman tayo, all payment options are available for you sa phone mo. So, bakit hindi ka pa magbabayad kaagad? Parang gano'n. Kasi usually, ang naging problem namin before, dahil nga, very in-your-face kami, interaction. Kasi nga, food, ibibigay mo yung food, di ba? So, ang nangyayari sa amin, ang naging problema namin, yung bayad agad. Especially pagkakilala mo. Di ba? Bayaran mo muna. You have to pay for that. Hindi ka naman, if you go to McDonald's, hindi ka naman nangutang muna, kinain mo muna before ka bumili, di ba? Kaya nga ang sabi namin, we are canteen eh. Kasi pag pumunta ka sa isang canteen, nagbabayad ka muna, and then uupo ka doon sa canteen, and then you eat it. That's yung ginawa namin branding, virtual canteen for Filipino cuisine. Kasi maraming Filipinos there, may mga companies din na malalaki, but then they don't have a Filipino cuisine side. And especially sa company namin, we are asking for it, but hindi naman sila nag-open ng side ng Filipino cuisine. So parang ang point ko nun is, if you don't want to open one, then I would open it. So, but then wala naman akong physical na canteen sa loob ng company namin. Then that's why I called it virtual canteen for Filipino homemade cuisine. Diba? So we scratch our itch. So what I'm saying is, yung payment options na yon, dahil sa technology, the ease of use ng isang wallet gave way to all other wallets and then made it easier to all others. So everybody wins.
Yes.
Diba? So I think I saw you jot it down, and then I know you ask me more later. Ask me more later because I'll give you more of it later. So ang nangyari, what I'm saying is, yung mga payment options na yon, diba? Ngayong time na to, this COVID-19, is now rampant. Diba? Parang lahat na lang merong ganon. So, I was encouraged when I told you even before we started the recording, na when we went, we tried Philippines for about 21 days and then got locked up here in the Philippines. And then nakita ko na everybody's cashless. Parang what I did 2 to 3 years ago sa Hong Kong, I went to Philippines, I'm seeing it now. It's the same thing. So parang, alam mo yung, nakita mo na siya eh. You didn't have foresight, but technically, I already saw this coming. Diba? So I got encouraged na parang, the reason why I started the business is I want to go home. The message, right? The message. I want to go home. So, let's do it. So that's the encouragement for me. The COVID-19 pushed me, but the idea is already there. It's already planted in me. Na-encourage ako sa nangyari.
You said something interesting kanina about the reason why, a lot of the OFWs would come home. It's good to pursue entrepreneurship. But for the path for you to succeed might take 5 or 10 years. Only siguro yung mga sobrang special na entrepreneurs that implemented things at the right time, at the right place, they got lucky, or may skill naman and gift yun eh. Yes. But most
they're really, really good. They're unicorns. That's why they're unicorns. Right?
ilan lang yon out of tens of thousands, right? That have failed. But if you can do it within 10 years na successful ka, then I mean it's not just about your ROI in terms of money and what you'll be getting. It's the learning and the journey of struggling from a very small company to where you're gonna be, diba?
Yes.
So for me, I completely changed my perspective because back then when I moved to Singapore, it was just purely about seeking greener pastures. Kasi dati sabi ko, grabe dito sa Pilipinas, no, tumataas sweldo mo, tumataas din yung tax. Parang never ending yung cycle, and then parang hindi ako masyadong natututo na. But when I moved to Singapore, you learn about so many things, and being an OFW helped me like build my resilience kasi you're working with cultures and minsan loneliness. Feeling ko pala ang dati ang sarap pala ng buhay ko. I'm just with the comfort of my family and friends. Parang nandun yung community mo eh.
Na-compare mo, right? Na-compare mo yung ikaw lang mag-isa, and then doon sa Pilipinas, alam mo yan, I consider myself as kalad ka rin sa mga barkada namin. Na parang, JP, let's go here. Okay. Alam mo yan, isa ko sa mga ganon. But then when nasa ibang bansa ka na, JP, and then you see their post, and then you have number one, this may be minamaliit ng iba, but homesickness is a very big deal sa mga OFWs.
Yeah.
Right? You as a professional, right? You're a professional in Singapore. Just imagine ang ating mga kaibigan, mga domestic helpers, yung mga unskilled worker, category health workers natin. Nasa isang bahay sila na hindi nagsasalita ng language mo. Ikaw lang mag-isa, hindi ka mag-off minsan. Tapos, ikaw, hindi ka pwedeng gumamit ng TV, hindi ka pwedeng magamit ng internet kasi may gano'n, di ba? Awin natin. So, homesickness talaga ang kalaban mo, right? So, why not? Why not? The reason why I'm advocating this message of entrepreneurship because kaka-kumpisa ko ng 2015 ng financial education, it went to business eh. Parang ang ending ng aking financial education journey is to actually start a business.
Yun.
And usually, more often than when I look at other financial educators or financial literacy advocates, they all have businesses. Kasi napansin ko na it's about ayokong gawin, so mutual fund. Right? And then ayokong basta ako mag-mutual fund kung pwede man ako magsarili. So mag-open sila ng brokerage company, bibili sila ng sarili ng stocks, right? They choose their own stocks. Maybe it's investing long term or trading short term, right? And then they go join an MLM, mga ganon, di ba? So then isip nila, makaka-recruit ako. I believe in MLM about the product, just a disclosure. If it's about the product. So, concentrate on the product. And then, naisip mo, what if dito naman? What if dito naman? And then next. And then, pagdating sa dulo, you will see, magpa-franchising ako. But then, why would I pay franchising fee when I can start it myself? So, alam mo yun? So, parang nakita ko, pare-pareho yung trajectory ng mga iba. Yung iba nag-shortcut, they skip a step, yung mga ganun, from mutual fund, business, diba? What if you skip all the steps and go with this, right? That's what I meant with the fastest way to go home nang hindi ka nagmamadali is to start a business.
Correct.
Right? Now, I have to have proof, right? So what the thing is, I have to have proof. What I did is, prior to me starting a business, I researched on ano ba yung mga tao or yung mga Filipinos, mga OFWs, sino ba yung bulk ng nakaka-uwi? Right? Nang hindi terminated. Nang hindi dahil may gera. Nang hindi dahil for whatever reason. Right? Kung umuwi sila dahil pwede na. Pag-check ko, they are all entrepreneurs. They are all entrepreneurs. You know how I know? I got in touch with the labor attaché, which is the previous a podcast guest here. And also, siya din yung reintegration sa Pilipinas before siya naging labor attaché sa Hong Kong. So, he has the data Alam mo yun? At yun yung message niya, reintegration program yung ginagawa niya before, right? So yung bukang bibig niya, go with entrepreneurship. Go with entrepreneurship. Because this is but the thing is, not everyone is saying that specifically. Ang proof ko is him. He is the proof. Kasi meron siyang ginawang video. And the first time we met, mapapanood siya sa podcast to, na binigyan niya ako ng CD about people who went home, reintegrated, and all of them started a business.
Correct.
Iba-ibang time ng pag-uwi, but all of them started a business. That's why it's appropriate na nung tinanong kita, you went home because of it.
I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul.
For more OFWpreneurs stories or kung gusto mong tumambay, click here.
Click here. Click here.
Click here.
Click here.
Click here.
Click here. Click here. Click here.
Click here.
Subscribe here.